The Naam bestowed by the true Master is very powerful. The true earning of Naam awakens divine powers in an Abhyasi. The power of Naam is such even a single concentration on a thought or work by the devotee can render it true. An Abhyasi should stay miles away from these virtues, as these are the ways and means of Kal to trap an Abhyasi back into this world of Maya. Also, such display of flamboyant powers stoops back the inner progress of the Abhyasi and sometimes even nulls all the hard-earned spiritual earning. If an Abhyasi exhibits a glint of such acquired mystical power, even unknowingly, he has to face profound consequences. An Abhyasi should learn to digest his progress. It should not be shared with anyone, not even with the spouse. Every spiritual experience should be treated as a valuable gem, and an Abhyasi must learn to safeguard it from the world, because the presence of pride can bring down your spiritual earning. An Abhyasi should not talk or indulge in a long or excessive discussion with others. Excessive talking leads to dissipation of energy and scatters concentration of mind. If you regularly fall into long conversations and discussions, it is natural that you might end up gossiping, backbiting, or triggering other impure thoughts or vices of man. An Abhyasi should also not be silent completely, because remaining silent preserves energy. If this accumulated energy is not utilized or channelized in your Abhyas, it will pressurize your mind and might push negative thoughts for spirituality. An Abhyasi loses a lot of power through speech or talking. There are 3 types of sins committed through speech which degrades our soul's purity. These are speaking harshly, lies, and criticizing others. An Abhyasi should avoid all the 3, as Simran's power is diverted in a negative manner, and these personality flaws gain power through Simran instead. Food that you eat has a direct connection with your thoughts and your man. A seeker should eat food only from his self-earned hard work. If he earns his living by malpractice or fraudulent methods or bribes or by troubling others, etc., he can never tread on the path of spirituality. An Abhyasi should have only light and sattvic lacto-vegetarian diet meals such as grains, vegetables, fruit, etc. Food which is spicy, oily, and heavy tends to create restlessness in our thoughts and man. An Abhyasi should eat only to survive and live, and not the other way round. Overeating or eating different things for taste or indulging in relishing delicacies ignites the taste senses and makes it difficult to control your man, hindering your spiritual progress. An Abhyasi should try to eat his meals alone while performing the Simran. One should develop this habit even while sipping water or any other beverage. It converts the meal into prasad, and the positive energy gained from such a meal strengthens your devotion and love towards the Master. An Abhyasi must give up and stay away from all forms and substances of intoxication like alcohol, smoking, drugs, etc. Consumption of such intoxicants not only damages the spiritual growth but also leads to degradation of physical health, wastage of money, social disgrace, increase in lust, and often causes domestic violence. Similarly, one should also give up all forms of meat, eggs, and adapt to a vegetarian lifestyle. Consumption of flesh of any animal adds up as a grave violent deed in your karmic account and triggers ill vices like lust anger, and restlessness in mind and thoughts. An Abhyasi should believe in chastity and adopt a simple lifestyle. Indulging in wearing fashionable or flashy attires, chasing a trendy lifestyle, and fondness towards ornaments, etc., makes the mind more agile and disturbs the stability of man required for spiritual elevation. An Abhyasi should also preserve his character and stay faithful towards his spouse. Any woman other than his wife should be considered and regarded either as a sister or mother by the male devotee, and similarly, the female devotee should consider all other men as her brother or father. Only when the soul is entirely serene, it will begin its journey towards the Supreme Lord. Seva, or selfless service of Master, is one of the essential and easy way of shaping our spiritual progress. An Abhyasi cannot be successful if he does not perform the Seva. Seva purifies soul, burns the karma, enhances virtues like kindness, compassion, humility, peace, and crushes the strongest vice, ego. Seva is a tool used by the Master to quickly burn down the karmas of devotees. There are 4 types of Seva. First, Seva done physically. It purifies the body. It washes away the karmas created by us physically and fades away the consequences of karma one might have to suffer physically. Second, Seva done monetarily. It purifies the money earned. It is the lowest ranked Seva in terms of spirituality and is for those who cannot perform the Seva either physically or mentally. Third, Seva done mentally. It purifies the mind. It includes creation and adapting of good thoughts and feelings for others. Constantly developing positive feelings of love, compassion, and staying away from vices all come under Seva done mentally. Fourth, Seva for soul. It is one of the best Seva that one can dedicate to the Master and oneself. Performing Simran and sitting in Abhyas both fall under this. Ultimately, it's through this important Seva a seeker paves his way for liberation. Hence, one should practice this Seva at least twice a day. Although the Seva of the soul is said to be one of the eminent Seva of all, an Abhyasi must perform physical Seva. When an Abhyasi is engaged in physical Seva, his mind is concentrated at one task. Also, the body gets accustomed to be in a stable posture for a long time and endure physical pressures. Since Abhyas is all about sitting in one steady position and concentrating the mind, the Seva done physically directly contributes and accommodates the body to have a better and prolonged meditation session. Walking on the path of Santmat does not mean you have to wash your hands off with your family's responsibility. Only a person who can manage and create a happy and peaceful environment and relations at home can successfully perform Abhyas. I firmly teach that a devotee should first take care and attend to the Seva of the parents at home. How can one expect to meet the Supreme Lord, the creator of everything, if your parents, who are your primary creators, are unhappy, unattended, and ill-treated? First, make them happy, and it's only through their blessing that you would be able to make the Supreme Lord happy. Every living thing in the world emits radiation, either positive or negative, and these radiations reciprocate similar characteristics on the mind of the person coming in contact with them. Hence, for an Abhyasi, the company one keeps and the surroundings are very important. The best company for spiritual growth is that of the master and the satsang. An Abhyasi should try and be around companies which, like him, which are in search of spirituality. A company where the discussion is about the master, satsang, naam, and other spiritual values. If an Abhyasi stays in company of negative people or those who are engaged in seeking and enjoying only worldly pleasures, he too will start developing these desires and eventually get engulfed in them. It becomes easier to get strayed from spiritual path in a deluded crowd. Hence, keep a watch on the company you keep. We create new deeds when we spontaneously act upon the actions suggested by our minds. To avoid the creation of new deeds, one should use the master as the custodian of the brain. It is done by bearing the Guru in our minds at all times. A seeker should develop the habit of continuous introspection of his thoughts or actions. One should always dwell on questions like whether his actions or thoughts fall within the limits, teachings, or advice of the master. Will it bring any harm to his spiritual health? Is it something that you can perform or think about in the presence of your master? One should avoid acting upon any thoughts which are not aligned with the master's teachings. Soon, this way of stopping and introspecting before acting will become a habit, and the seeker would be able to avoid unnecessary creation of karmas.